Once heard a director say that filmmaking is going to war. I think it was Akira Kurosawa, and I think that's true in a way. You are battling every day for your vision. You're battling to protect your characters and your story. You know, I've been on this road for a long time, this filmmaking road now. I started when I had humble beginnings in the islands, in a small island in the big Pacific Ocean, and now I'm here and I'm journeying on this road. Who knows where it will lead me, but I know that I'm on the right track. You know, all I need to do is relax, focus, and let my imagination just go. I feel like that quote from Shakespeare, "In sleep, what dreams may come." My name is Sila Agavale. I am Polynesian. I grew up in the island of Samoa, and my experience watching film when I was a kid, when I was living there, was pretty unique. The theater that I used to frequent with my cousins that I grew up with, and we would go into this movie theater. We would sit on the floor, on the ground. We didn't have seatings or anything, chairs. We were just sitting, and it would be like a community of all of us, young, old, and I was very young, and there would be, you can smoke in there. So you as you're watching the film, there would be a smoke-filled room. And I remember the first movie I ever saw as a kid, which I think I didn't finish because I was so sick from the smoke, was a John Wayne movie. I remember, I have a story. I remember us, my cousins and I, we really wanted to see this karate movie, and we missed the village truck, or where they would bus everybody in the afternoon to go see films if you wanted to. We missed that, so it was a ways away, and we wanted to go. So, and my friend's father had a canoe, and so we kind of stole the canoe. It's sort of like you would steal a car around here, I guess. And we all kind of got in the canoe and we rolled all the way to this other village to go see a karate movie. Well, before we got there, the canoe capsized and we all got wet. And we never made it to the movie, so we turned around, and came back home all wet. Well, later in life, when I was pretty sure what I wanted to do, I wanted to carve out a career for myself in the arts. I started as an actor and on the theater. I went to college, but I always wanted to do films. I was able to go to this college in Pittsburgh called Carnegie Mellon, and Carnegie had a decent library with a lot of films, and the classic films. I got into Kubrick, all of his movies. I mean, there was such a learning process for me. It's not only classic Hollywood films were informing my point of view, But I got into foreign movies. I got into these movies by the classic filmmakers like Fellini, the Italian neo-realist movement that was happening. I got into the Iranian films that in the 90s. Kiarostami was my favorite Iranian filmmaker. I got into a lot of the French New Wave, Godard. I didn't really go to a film school. This was my education into filmmaking. Later, when I made my own films, this was my background. This was my reference. You know, Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, and my favorite American, which I feel I was very much, akin to, was Orson Welles. I was a theater major, and coming from the theater to film was it's not much of a stretch for a filmmaker. The same principle applies. When in theater as a director, you look at you're viewing it as your perspective is an objective point of view. In film, it's you have a objective point of view, but you also have a subjective point of view. Now we're getting into the characters, the director's point of view, where we see what they see, or the director allows you to see what he wants you to see. So he's really the film director, I mean. He's really in charge of the look of the film, the vision of the film, and how the outcome's going to be. I mean, him and the editor are really the final writers on a film script. And I like that. I like control. I like to shape things as a director. When I directed my first film, that was my goal and my aim to lift the words off the page and give it life. I mean, for the actors, you lift those words and you give it behavior, from the word to the behavior. For the director, you want to let the audience in on what you see, what the world of the story is, and so if I can do that as a director, I'm happy. And I know not everything you can accomplish everything in film, because everything can go wrong, and everything does go wrong. And when you set out on this mission, on this quest to tell a story visually through the medium of film, you're so relying on other aspects of the art, music. You're not truly alone. You're alone, but you're not truly alone. You're the art direction. And as a director, I don't have a lot, as an independent filmmaker, I don't have a lot of that stuff that you can rely on art directions or sound design. So you make up for it. You pick location that has a similar, that can speak visually about what you're trying to say in your film. I like the desert because it's a metaphor in itself, and it's if you want to do like this film that I'm doing right now is a post-apocalyptic feature. Well, can't go wrong by just point the camera at the desert. It does look like a post-apocalyptic world. The future that's mismanaged by our present day, and now this is what's bequeathed to the future generation, and now they have to survive in this world. So it is a sort of like a warning. Hey, maybe not do the things that we're doing. And that's really what my new feature is about. Now, I really do consider myself a Utah filmmaker, and I'm proud of that. All the stories that I'm telling right now takes place here in Utah. It's about Utah people. It's about Utah characters and their perspective of the world. My first film, Lost at Desert, which won a lot of awards, was about using the Utah desert as a metaphor for this guy's life. I use a lot of talent in Utah, very talented people here in Utah, from actors to filmmakers. It seems like there's a cycle, you know. You start your career here in Utah, and a lot of kids, they move out of Utah to make it out in LA or New York. But this is still a great crop of young actors and older actors that are still making their career in Utah. And I'm quite satisfied with Utah people, Utah actors. And there are a lot of films that do come in and cast here in Utah and utilize the talent here in Utah, from the crew to in front of the camera people, behind the camera people. We've got a wealth of talent here in Utah. There's a crop of young filmmakers that are emerging now. I guess we have realized that you don't need to be in LA to tell stories anymore. That technology has really leveled the playing field, and the new platforms now have allowed distribution to be from anywhere, as long as your content is good. Many platforms are hungry for or searching for new stories, new good stories. And you don't need to have $1 million. You can go out in the desert, you can go out anywhere, just a camera and you, or a camera, you and an actor. Roll it. You're a filmmaker. Not shackled to any big production company that tells you what to do and how to do it. This is John Cassavetes's dream. I don't know if he was alive today, or Orson Welles. He would love this type of era where he would just grab the camera. He had all the stories in his head. He was a screenwriter. He wore all the hats, and I think that's what's important for a filmmaker. You need to know a lot of things about filmmaking. To be an independent filmmaker, you have to be a Renaissance man, so to speak. Film storytelling or style comes from, it's a personal thing, but you really have to listen to yourself. I mean, you can take inspiration from other filmmakers, but it really, if you want to be unique, you really have to be yourself and see the world through your own unique perspective. What a blessed time to be a filmmaker. No excuse. Go do it.